Cool. I think we're just slowly gonna get started, or slowly, just actually in a regular tempo, we're gonna get started. But I'm just gonna introduce you to today's super intense program. Now it's gonna be very similar to last time. We're gonna do a warm-up together, have a cozy time with that. Then we're gonna do a few exercises for the lie in a handstand, building both a little bit of awareness of the position we want to keep our body in when we're in a handstand, and work a little bit on the active shoulder flexibility. Not too much, just like an exercise we're gonna feel out a little bit. And then we're gonna work on a few drills for the kick up, and then do some balance drills with help from the wall. So that is today's hopefully super awesome program. Sounds good? Right on. Okay, we're just gonna stand up. And let's get started. Okay, I'm just gonna stay close to the camera actually. So we're just gonna start doing some wrist circles. So I'm gonna keep my hands here, and I'm gonna try to keep everything, my whole arm still. It's only my hand that is gonna move. So I'm gonna move my fingers towards each other. Then I'm gonna put my fingers upwards, to the outside, and downwards. Then I'm gonna shift slowly to make circles between these positions. All right, change directions. All right, shake the hands a little bit. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put my hands right in front of myself. I'm gonna put my fingers downwards, and I'm gonna try to reach in towards myself. Keep my arms straight. Should be feeling a little bit of tension here. Pull, 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 and relax. Put your fingers towards the sky. Then try to pull your fingers back towards yourself by using these muscles. Pull, pull, pull. Right, and we're gonna change between these two positions a few times. So reach down and towards myself, and point my fingers up and reach towards myself. All right, once more, down and towards myself, and up and towards myself. Hands. All right, we're gonna do basically the same thing, but this time we're gonna do it with our arms overhead. All right, point your fingers forwards and reach down towards yourself. All right, point your fingers backwards and try to reach right down towards yourself. And change, so forwards and down towards yourself. And backwards and down towards yourself. All right, once more, forwards and down towards yourself. And backwards and down towards yourself. All right, you can shake your hands. Great, great, great. Oopsie. Great. We're going to do this one thumb pointing up, one thumb pointing down, and then twist a little bit extra, keep your shoulders level, and change positions with the arms, slowly from side to side. See if you can keep your arms completely level. All right. You guys just keep going. I'm just gonna take this one off. All right, you can take your arms down for a second. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put our arms out to the side again. We're going to start making small circles. Right. Going to make the circles a little bit bigger. Going to make them a little bit bigger. Or make them super big into arm swings. Make them a little bit smaller. A little bit smaller. A little bit smaller. And super small. All right, shake your arms. Put them back out to the side. Now we're going to do the other direction. All right, small circles. Bigger. And bigger. And into arm swings. And a little bit smaller again. Smaller. Smaller. And super small. And you can shake your arms. Whew. Hope you can feel your arms burning a little bit, because I can feel my shoulders already a little bit of work. All right, next what we're going to do is just continue this a little bit. All right, so what I want to do is you start from standing. Whoopsie. And I'm just going to bend over, but as I bend over, I lift one of my legs. So it's going to look like this. Down and up, change legs. Down and up, change legs. And I want to try to keep a line down through my upper body and through my leg. So try to keep my leg on the same line as my upper body. I'm just going to do this. Just come as far down as you can. If you can get your palms flat to the ground, that's good. You just get fingertips, that's also fine. You're allowed to bend the leg that you're standing on. It's no problem. All right. We're just gonna come down to the floor now, down all fours. We just want to make sure that we get our wrists really nice and warm and used to having a little bit of weight on them. So get down on all fours, shoulders over hands. And we're gonna start doing, call them wrist push-ups. So we're gonna push up like this slowly and slowly down. So I push up on my hands. So it's just this area and my fingers that are in the ground. All right, and just lift the back of your hand as high as possible as you do so. It doesn't matter if it's only like this or if it's completely high up. Just as much as you can. Controlled up, controlled down. All right. If it's very easy, you can move your knees a little bit away from your hands. Then you get more weight in your hands and it gets harder. If it's too hard, you can put your knees a little bit closer to your hands. That'll make it a little bit easier. All right, and keep your shoulders directly over your hands. A few more. All right, next what we're gonna do is I'm gonna point my fingers out to the side. All right, and I'm actually just gonna try to do the same thing here. So push up and slowly come down. See if you can keep your arms straight. And see if you can control the movement both on the way up and on the way down. All right, you can shake your hands just a little bit. Now what we're gonna do is, you're gonna put your fingers forwards again. And just gonna show it here. I'm gonna try to make small circles with my upper body. So I'm gonna move to the side, forwards, to the other side, a little bit backwards. Just do circles like this. So I want you to go to your outer ranges. So it should feel like, okay, maybe I'm getting close to where I can go. I'm feeling a mild stretch when I get into like this position, for example, but I'm not going super heavy. And a few more. Right. Change directions. Once again, I can move my knees closer to my hands to make it easier, and I can move them further away to make it a bit harder. Okay. How are you feeling? Are your wrists feeling warm? Ready to go? Cool. We're slowly gonna get started. So the last one we're gonna do as part of our warm-up. Just a nice way to put everything together. So this one is called the acrobat's morning prayer. At least that's what I call it. Maybe it has another name as well. So I'm gonna be sitting on my knees. You don't have to be able to sit all the way down. It's fine if you have to sit like this. But what I do is I put my hands in the ground, close to my knees. They can be a little bit in front, a little bit behind, whatever feels comfortable. I'm gonna try to position my shoulders right over my hands. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to think that I'm pushing down into the ground from my hands. And I'm gonna push into this position as straight legs as possible and slowly back down. Now I can use my legs as much as I need, but I try to let to initiate and control the movement from my arms by pushing into the ground all the way up here and slow it down. All right, give it a try. Okay, keep looking down between your hands. Very good. All right. We can do one or two more. Very good. Okay, guys, you can come down. Naya, can you maybe turn your camera a bit down towards the ground so I can see you a bit better? Thank you. All right. This exercise, the acrobat's morning prayer, is just a nice one to have in your arsenal for a few things. You can use it just a bit in your warm-up to get everything fired and ready. It's also good to work on this. We want to actually push a little bit up in our shoulders when we're standing on our hands. And also in time, this is also a very good exercise for working towards the press to handstand. Because in the end, you know, as you get stronger and stronger and stronger, in the end, what we want to be able to do is, as we get to the top position, we pull strongly into the ground, pushing into the ground, we'll at some point be able to float just a little bit with our feet. And then I know I'm close to being able to actually doing a press to handstand. But we're not going to work on that just yet. We're going to work a little bit on a few different line drills, right? So the line is just like the position we want to have in our handstand to keep it as efficient as possible. You could say that. You can easily do a lot of hard tricks in a banana handstand with a arched back, but it's just a little bit easier to learn if you have a nice line, and also it looks super nice. All right, so what I want you to do is, I have so much crap here. We're just gonna do 2 exercises actually. So first one, I'm gonna lay on my back, and I want you to keep your lower back in the ground. Keep the whole back pushed into the ground as far as possible. Then I'm gonna put my hands up in the air, get my hands as close to the ground as I can without my lower back lifting. So if I can, then I want my arms to be completely flat against the ground. But if my lower back starts to arch, when I get to here, then just keep my hands at a bit higher place, all right? But let's say I can get my hands down. Then what I want you to do next is I want you to keep your lower back in the ground, and then I want you to try and extend your legs as much as you can, but only extend them as far as you can without lifting the back from the ground, all right? But if everything succeeds, what I want you to do is do this, start this position, and I get out with my legs and pull them back in. And we're just gonna do this for 4 reps, okay? Give it a go, guys. Nice. Nice open shoulders, everybody. Very nice. Okay. You can do your last repetition. Great. You can watch me again, please. All right. Next one we're gonna do is we're gonna do this. We're gonna find ourselves a wall. Now, what I want you to do is you're gonna stand up against the wall, get your back flat. All right. So I want my whole back to be touching the wall, my head as well, and then keeping my whole body flat, I'm gonna take my arms shoulder width apart. I'm gonna lift up towards the ceiling and try to get them in against the wall as well. And I'm just gonna hold this position. Okay? So lift the arms as high as possible. If you can get them against the wall, then you just push hard against the wall. But the important thing is to keep the whole back against the wall. And we're gonna see if we can hold this position for 20, 30 seconds. All right? Get ready. And action. Okay. Nice, keep the arms straight arms. Super good. And keep the back of your head against the wall as well. Nice. Super good. Arms straight. 10 more seconds. And you can come down. It's a nice little helper you got there, Hannah. Oh, so nice. Great.
Are you allowed to bend your knees in that one?
Yeah, but that's actually fine. But it's a bit of a regression because it makes it easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a good way to like adjust it to the level you're at.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's like either you bend the knees because that makes it a little bit easier to keep the lower back against the wall, or what will probably happen is you just won't be able to lift the arms as high.
Yes, but I couldn't even get my back to the wall when my
okay.
knees
Yeah,
were
then definitely. Yeah, then it's a good idea to bend the knees a little bit, just enough to get the wall to get the lower back against the wall. But also there's like a small pointer on these kind of line drills, because I often say that you have to get your back to touch the floor, or your whole back to touch the wall. And for some people, it isn't actually completely possible. It could be that maybe you have a very muscular upper back, maybe you have some well-developed butt muscles, in which case it simply isn't possible. But what we're actually also looking for is the body actually straight. And if you're able to touch the wall, that's just a very easy way to know whether or not you're in the right position. Yeah. All right, we're gonna start looking at some drills for the kick up to handstand. Some of them you tried last time, and some of them are probably gonna be new. What I want you to think about is that for now, the important thing is not that you actually get into the handstand and you're able to balance it. What I want you to focus on is trying to find a feeling of control, both on the way up and on the way down. All right. So I'm looking for more of a controlled motion than for a fast one and necessarily getting into the position. All right. The first one we're going to do is we're going to start with our hands on the ground. And we're going to start in this kind of like on the position we would normally use for our kick up to the handstand, right? So one leg is bent and the other one is straight behind me. Okay. And from here, what I want you to do is you start the movement by lifting the back leg and then pushing from the bent leg and come down. All right. It doesn't have to be like this divided, where it's like one leg and then the other and down. I want you to, over time, try to make it a little bit more fluid. And down. Okay. Don't worry about getting into the completely inverted position. Just think about keeping the legs straight, kicking up and coming down. All right. Yeah, fine, all around. Nice. Okay, you can just look at me for a second. Right, a few pointers. First one is, what I want you to do is, when we do the exercises, and you're about like to try the exercise actually, do 3, maybe 4 tries, then rest for a few seconds, all right? So you're actually mindful about what you're doing, because the important thing is not doing it 1,000 times. The important thing is trying to understand what you're actually doing while you're doing it. All right, 2 more things. When you're in the position, you want your shoulders to be right over your hands. And that usually means that you have to let your shoulders come a little bit further forwards than actually feels comfortable. All right. And then in the bottom position, already think about, I'm actually trying to push a little bit into the ground before I kick up. That's just 2 bonus things. All right. Give it another shot. Nice. Are you okay, Hannah? Nice, Laura. Super good. Fine. Good. Super nice, Clara. Good, Hannah. Good, Naya. Okay, everybody. Just one more thing, also because that way I also force you to take a small break. Actually, I just want to say that that all around now, I've been looking at each of your cameras. Actually, the technique, the shoulder position in the takeoff already looks nicer. Just don't stress about having to go really high and like, oh, I wasn't really close. I wasn't actually in the handstand position and all those kind of things. Just think that, okay, but if it feels like I actually have some control, I have just like maybe a second in the air, actually it starts to feel like that, then you're going in the right direction. All right? Because actually balancing in the handstand, we're gonna work on that just a little bit later. Right? Okay. Yeah, Naya?
I know you say that it's like every teacher say different things and stuff, but I just had this conversation with Manuel, and he said that it, I don't know, maybe me only tends to just like arch my back when I do this kind of like kicking up in a handstand.
It didn't look too excessive now, actually.
Okay.
But that could also just be this specific exercise. Now, I will keep an eye out for it and tell you.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yes.
Clara?
It just, I find it when I do it, I find it a lot more successful when I kind of have a little bend in my arm and straighten them, but I don't know if that's cheating. I do like in my.
Yeah. I wouldn't call it cheating, but I think in time you would find that your consistency, you know, the number of kickups that actually catch is usually better the more simple that we can make the motion. So if we like try to straighten, the reason why we want to have straight arms is, of course, there's something like being effective. It's easier to control the balance, but also not like having the bent arm motion into it, just because then there's another joint that I have to be mindful about what I'm doing with. So I'd actually like you to try to keep your arms straight.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's also like, for example, this thing we're already doing now, we're striding with the hands in the ground. We're doing some things that are going to make the handstand feel harder, but it's going to give us more control in the long run. Right? Does it make sense? Yeah. Great. Okay, we're going to do some kick-ups from standing. So we're going to take a step into the kick-up, and you can do it in front of a wall. That's super fine to do that. Otherwise, you're also free to do it freestanding. But you're going to do it like this. We're going to do it in slow motion, or very slow at least. And the reason why I want you to do it kind of slow is because it forces you to control what you're actually doing. So I'm just going to start from standing. Take a small step forwards. Then I'm going to bend over until my hands reaches the ground. As you can see now, I'm actually in the position where we just practiced doing our kick-up from. Then I'm going to start by lifting my back leg and then pushing from the bent leg. All right. Now we want to make it a little bit more fluid, but still keep it slow and controlled. I'm going to take a step forward, bend over, hands in the ground, and kick up and down. All right. You might not be able to do it this slowly, but I want you to think that you can do it faster. But I want to keep the tempo, the same tempo throughout the motion. I want to try to make it relatively slow. Does this make sense? You can just give me a thumbs up if you're up for it. Awesome. All right, give it a few tries. All right, start with the hands down to your side. Cool. Naya? I actually want you to start with your hands like this, and just, you know, let your hands seek down towards the floor instead of having them overhead in the beginning. Just start with them here. Yeah, it might feel weird in the beginning. Just give it a try. Yeah, fine. Good. Good, Laura. Nice. Hannah, if you can keep your legs split for now, that would be nice. Nice one, Laura. No, also Laura, but yeah, nice, Naya. Oh, Clara, can you turn your camera a bit to the right? Yeah, I think that's better. Nice. Good. Okay, everybody, you can divert your attention back to me. Okay. Next, what I want you to do, now you have to use a wall in front of you when you kick up. I can see most of you already doing that. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to remember. We're gonna try to remember our kick up technique that we just practiced. Okay, but we're gonna do it up against the wall. And what I want you to do is I want you to think about my top leg has to come in and just gently land on the wall. So I want you to imagine then one of your good friends is standing against the wall, and you want to not hit that person hard in the face with your foot. You want to just gently tap their nose. All right. So I'm gonna do my kick up against the wall, and just gently hit the wall with my foot before coming down. So I know that if it makes a big sound when I hit the wall with my foot, then I use too much power. All right. So it's like, oh, then that is not my best try. Okay. Great. So my goal is to hit the wall, but hit it gently with my foot.
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's you don't want us to put both legs up. Only like the one hits and then you go down. You don't want us to stand in the handstand.
Not for now, but we're gonna do that soon.
Okay.
Nice. Looking good, guys. I can't actually see whether or not your foot is hitting the wall, so I'm just assuming that it is very gently touching the wall. Fine, Hannah. Super nice. Good, Naya. Very nice. Good. Nice, Naya. Okay, guys, you can look at me once again. All right, so we're gonna start working on some balancing drills on the wall. The reason why I divide the kick-up practice and the balance practice is our kick-up has to be relatively solid before we actually land in a position where we can work on the balance. All right, so working on making our kick-up more precise, and we're using the wall to work on balance drills, so we can actually also kind of make the place where we can actually catch our balance. We're gonna make that broader or wider, if that makes sense. So we're actually both working on making our kick-up more precise, but we're also working on being able to catch our kick-up even though it's not very precise, right? Working on both ends, right? So we're gonna work on the wall. We're gonna start with exercises where we kick up with our back towards the wall. Whenever we kick up against the wall, I want you to be mindful of the technical points we just made, all right? So see if you can still come up against the wall gently and not just smash into it, right? But the first exercise, I want you to have a distance of about my underarm's length away from the wall, just like approximately, right? So that is where I want my hands to end up. So I kick up against the wall. Oopsie. Then what I do is I try to push from my fingertips while also activating my abs. And I try to push so hard from my fingers that I'm pulling myself down from the wall, okay? So my hands are like this on the floor, and try to really push from this point. At the same time, I'm trying to activate my stomach muscles to pull myself out from the wall. Okay? Does it make sense? Yeah,
So now you want us to try to stand in a handstand and not fall down, or?
I want you to take, we're gonna take a few attempts, but we're not gonna try to stand in balance. We just want to push so hard from our fingertips, we'll come back on our feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're just a little bit ahead of schedule, Naya, because that's the next thing we're gonna do.
Yes, I try to do what you say. I'm just so yeah, and energetic here.
That's so good. Good. Good job, Hannah. Nice, Laura. Godt, Naya. Very good, Clara. Good. Okay, guys, you can look at me once more. Looking good all around. So we're just going to move on. This is just like to get the feeling, just get our fingers working, right? So the only thing I don't want to, or like the most important thing I don't want to do is I don't want you to push against the wall with your feet, basically ever, all right? So the thing that's going to make your feet come off the wall is either going to be coming from the shoulders or the fingers, and in this case, it's going to be from the fingers, okay? The next exercise is basically going to be the same. Now I'm just going to try to see if I can catch a little bit of balance when I get my feet off the ground, all right? So I push with my fingers to get my feet to levitate off the wall. Then I try to adjust the pressure constantly from my fingers to keep balancing, all right? So I kick up against the wall and I land gently, of course. Then I press from my fingers, activate my abs a little bit, and I get them out. Then try to stand here just for some seconds, and then I go down. Okay, and remember, as long as I succeed in getting my feet off the wall, then it's actually a victory. Then it's just a bonus if I also manage to balance a little bit.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it okay to make a little bit of a banana when you're trying to get the feet off the wall? Because I feel like I have to get a curve through my body before my feet follow.
That is fine. Over time, we want to make it as small as possible, but you know, because we're standing a little bit away from the wall, we actually have to make a little bit of a banana. So that's fine. And Aya?
I just always feel like I'm not how do I say it? Yeah, I just feel like my shoulder is not like enough like this. I don't know how to say it. It's like everything is in the right place, but then I'm like, I feel like I have difficulty with like having the courage to lean forward. But yeah, that's just something I have to do.
Yeah, so
Probably.
on the shoulder. But I just saw you just balanced a little bit now, Naya. That actually looked super nice, and alignment was fine.
Yeah, but I'm a little bit too much here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that's what I mean. You know, I'm like not enough. Like, I just feel like I need to open up more, and like, I remember like Søren's people also told me to take my breast like in front of me in a way, like to get more like this.
Yeah, but I actually don't want you to open the chest. I want you to keep the chest closed and open from the shoulders only.
Okay, because that's just something Søren said to me, like open your breast, like. Okay,
but then
don't do that.
No, but that could be maybe because you were too open in the shoulders. But can I see a few more tries, Naya?
Yes.
Your line is super nice, Naya.
Actually. Maybe just because I'm not used to that, it hurts your wrist, and I'm like, it hurts my wrist.
Yeah, but it's like in the beginning when we're working more and more on our handstands, like the most important thing to be aware of is like overuse of the wrist.
Yeah.
It's like because it's feeling sore, then it's probably just because you know, it is getting quite a beating.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying more.
Yeah, but is it because you're still feeling you have a lot of weight here?
Yeah, but you know what? I don't know, because maybe it's also just because I'm like a little bit like, oh, it hurts, but it's just hurting. So because I'm not that red here at all, but I just feel it like it hurts. But of course it hurts to stand on your wrist. So it's like, yeah.
But definitely be maybe mindful about it. Remember to also rest them a bit. Don't do too many handstands every day.
Yeah, I don't do that. So yeah.
Good.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Do more then. Nice, Hannah. Okay, I'm just gonna say a small thing to all of you guys. It's just because in general it's actually looking pretty good. So if these are my feet and this is the wall. So if my feet are against the wall and they're kind of like doing like this, getting a little bit off, getting back on the wall, and doing like these small taps, that can feel kind of frustrating. I'm like, okay, now I'm just pushing against the wall to get out because what the fuck is this? But these small taps, this actually means that you're doing small corrections from the hands. So you're actually starting to balance a little bit. So instead of getting frustrated when that happens, you should be thinking, oh, that's nice. I'm actually starting to understand the balance a little bit. Okay? All right. I want you to just take 2 more tries because then I can just look at everybody and then we're going to move on to the next exercise. 2 more good tries, okay? And you decide whether they were good or not. Good, Laura. Nice and controlled. Godt, Clara. Super nice, Hannah. Good one. Okay, just gonna have the last try with the last people. Fine. Okay, guys, we're gonna move on to another exercise. Okay, we're gonna work a little bit on some stuff where we have our stomach against the wall. I don't know if do any of you guys feel like it's scary to have your chest against the wall? A little bit. Okay, we're gonna try to do it gradually then. All right. So we're gonna climb up against the wall with our legs. And what I want you to do is let your shoulders come a little bit forwards and then push them back into place again. Okay, and I'm gonna show it, of course, because maybe it's hard to know what I actually mean. So actually, I'm gonna give you two progressions. Okay, so first step is just like the wall climb up. If you feel like it's super scary to climb up the wall, then your exercise now is just gonna be to climb up as far as you dare and hold that, come down, and then do it once more and see if you can make yourself climb up a little higher. All right, so maybe I get to here and I'm like, okay, now I don't want to go higher up because I feel like I'm gonna die. Then you just come down, rest a little bit, see if you can make yourself go just a little bit higher. All right, but if you're comfortable, then I want you to go close into the wall. Then what I want you to do is I want you to let your shoulders come just a little bit forwards. Now I'm gonna do it a lot here just so you can see what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna let my shoulders come forwards. I'm gonna push them back into place. All right, shoulders forward a little bit and back into place. So does that make sense to you guys? And I tried, you can let your feet stay on the wall the whole time. This is just basically also to build some very handstand related strength in the shoulders.
Yeah, that's it's just super hard to do now when you're already a little tired.
Yeah, but I know sometimes it can feel weird, like, okay, but I'm tired, why do we do strength stuff now? But the thing is, actually, I would rather you be fresh when we're doing things where we are more focused on the technical stuff. Because the strength where it's like, okay, you just do it the best you can now. It doesn't matter if you're not able to go as far forward with the shoulders or do as many repetitions as if you were super fresh. Just trying to build some general strength, and that's fine, even though we're not completely fresh. Okay, give it a shot and just start with the first time you do it, just go a little bit forward in the shoulders and then back. Just do 2 or 3 repetitions, and then you can come down. Good. Fine. Good job, everybody. Okay, Laura, if you're up for the challenge, just see if you can make yourself just climb a little bit higher next time you go up. And I mean like a centimeter. That's fine. That's enough. Just think you're going 1 centimeter higher. Good, Clara. Fine. Nice save. Nice, Laura. That's a win in my book. Fine. All right. Laura and Clara, you just finished your repetition, and you come down and look at me. God, Clara. Super nice, guys. How are your wrists feeling? Starting to get a little bit tired? Yeah. Fine. I think we're going to take it a little bit easier on them. Also, like I said earlier, in the beginning, when we're starting on working on handstands, like the most important thing to be mindful about is just like your wrists and not overworking them. So also, I think we're maybe just going to try out one more exercise, but it's fine if you just try it one time. If your wrists are starting to feel sore, then you just have something to play with. But I just want to say this about being scared when you're standing with your chest against the wall. That is super scary because it feels like you're gonna fall on your face. Also, especially this exercise, we're actually pushing the shoulders in front, which is maybe some of the most scariest thing you can do on your hands. Usually, what I do with people, if we have space and we can see each other, the way to get rid of this fear is basically finding some ways to practice falling out of a handstand so you can start to feel safe. And one of the first things you can do to work on that is doing things like trying to work on your cartwheels, like basic acrobatic stuff like that. Because once you get comfortable doing cartwheels, and if you're not afraid to fall on your face when you do cartwheels, once you get to that point, then we can start to add that technique into our handstands. Because the way I usually teach people to fall out of handstands is that we do kind of a half turn into a cartwheel. And I just showed one more time. And the reason why we didn't spend too much time now is also because a little bit of like the space in your rooms. Naya?
Yeah, I was just about to say that it's like you don't have space for that now. So I'm super scared because I had tried to fall like the other way, and like, you stand like this, and then you reach this point where you're like, my arms are gonna die now, and there is no space for me to go, and then you just collapse like in floor. And I just tried to make a cartwheel here, and that doesn't work. No, so exactly. That's like super.
It's a shitty time to be working on it. So it's also why we're just talking about it's like once it's possible again.
Yeah, so people in the school, we're gonna be very much practicing this because there's a lot of space. So that's nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, basically that. So just want to show you just one time. You all know a cartwheel, and you don't have, otherwise you can learn more about the basic cartwheel at school. But the way that you transfer that into a handstand is you want to use kind of the same technique. What I usually want people to do is imagine that I'm in a handstand now, and I'm starting to fall this way. Then I'm gonna take a step forward with one hand and bring the other foot down to that side, and it's gonna look like this. Oopsie. So hopefully I'm not gonna hit anything now. So from my handstand, I'm falling, then I step and take my foot down. Of course, it looks easy now, but if you practice this on once you get back to school and you have mattresses and all that kind of stuff, then you can also get to practice this without being as afraid of dying when you do it, which is always nice, not to feel like you're gonna fall on your face, right? Cool. But that's also it for today. Our time has run up for the day. But thank you guys. It was nice having you, and just continue.
Have one more. You didn't have one more thing, Mikkel?
Yeah.
Didn't have one more exercise or something, or was it just this cartwheel
It's just like one more spring thing, but we're just gonna do it next time instead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. And next time, also just keep firing away with the questions when we're training. That's super fine. So you also get an understanding of why we're doing things. Cool. All right. Take care, guys. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you.